Okay, so today what I'm going to teach you guys is a simple way to extract your subject from a background. So when we look, we have this image here, and then we are going to go ahead and take out the background so we can be left with our subject like this. So the very first thing that we are going to do is we are going to open our image. So how you do that, okay, you go to photopea.com. And then you're going to go File on the top left side of your screen down to Open. When you go to the Open button, you are going to find an image that you want to try to edit. So you can look through and find whichever one you want. I'm going to go ahead and do the same image for the sake of us editing. Actually, I'm going to choose a different one just so that I have something to play around with, okay? So we're going to go ahead and go to Open when we find that image. Okay, there it is. Okay. So now we have the image open, and what we're going to do on the left-hand side of our toolbar, you are going to look for the tool that looks like this. More than likely, the kidney with the square around it will be selected. So you'll have to find that one. You're going to right-click and go down to the Quick Selection tool. And once we have that up here at the top, you're going to see this plus and the minus. The plus is to add to the selection, the minus is to take away. So we're going to give a rough draft on how to extract. So click the plus sign. So again, left-hand side, you're going to find the Quick Selection tool, go to the plus sign, and then we're going to go over to our subject. You can zoom in by hitting Command and the plus sign. And you're just going to kind of click and drag. Now, when you click and drag, I strongly suggest it in smaller strokes so that if you click over here and it decides to select something like outside, which it'll eventually show you, then you don't have to start all over. So again, small strokes to click and drag to add to your selection. And you can see that this part right here got selected. I'm not concerned with that whatsoever. I'll show you guys how to fix that later. So again, just keep selecting until you get to a decent selection point without it going crazy overboard. Like if I click right here, it's going to select that whole, oh, it didn't. It actually was pretty nice to me. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have the majority of this selected. Her fingers are still not selected, so see, it went all the way out. Now, if it goes all the way out like this, you have two options. The first is on your keyboard to hit Command Z. That's going to take you back a step. But if that's not working, over here on your right-hand side, you should have a history selection. If you go back up one, it's going to take you back where you need to be, okay? So this is going to be a tedious process for you. I made this look easy because I've done this multiple times. If yours is not working out like that, do your best. Get as much selected as possible, but if it's not perfect, that's okay. The next step we're going to do is going to take it into a refining tool, and you'll be able to go in and make any thing cleared up. So like her fingers here, when I tried to select them, it selected everything. So I'm not going to worry about that until the next step, okay? If you guys need to, pause your tutorial, and I'm going to go ahead and continue. So then once we have it roughly selected, Refine Edge up at the top is going to be where we are selecting. You're going to click it, and it's taking it a minute to load. That's okay. And once it loads, we have the original image, and the lighter part is what we have cut out. And then it shows you on the other page how it, or what part of it is cut out. So yours is going to look like this when you first come in here. What I need you guys to do is decide what way you can see your image and the selection better. Is it with white, or is it with black? And you can go ahead and zoom in on this image by hitting Command and the plus sign. And you can see, like, okay, there you can see the black between the fingers, and the feet are cut out funky, and there's spots of the calves. And then you can also check the white. So it's totally up to you which way you want to do it. I'm going to choose black this time just for the sake of the edit. and then I'm going to explain the tools for you guys. So over here, we have our brush size. So we are going to be doing all of our selecting on this actual image. I'm going to make my brush size small, and that's probably about good. I could go a little bit smaller because I'm going to try to get like her elbow back in this, and then like her fingertips and things like that. So that is going to be the size that I select. Yours is going to be different depending on the quality of your image, how many megapixels, all of that fun stuff. So play around, get the size that fits best for you. And then over here, you're going to see a white, a gray, and a black swatch. The white swatch is going to add to your selection, okay? So what I mean by that is if I were to Command and plus again and zoom in, if I were to take the white selected brush and paint it right here on this part of her elbow, it is going to select that, and if you watch the right side, it will pop up with the pink when it's done loading. And there it is. So as you can see, I added that selection there. I need to clean up her fingers, so that's the next thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and paint on with the white. And do your best on it. If it's messy, that's okay. This is the first time you guys are really working in this program. So as you can see, it cleaned it up quite a bit. There's still some on the edge of this pinky, this side, that I want to clean up. So I'm going to take my brush and do it again. All right, and then I'm going to come on minus to look out, and then we need to add this selection on her leg. Okay. And then same thing over here on her ankle and the bottom of her foot. And then there's a little bit more right here I'm going to add. And as far as adding, it's looking pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more to her other foot here. Just a little bit, and then on the inside part of her arch. Okay, so now that you've done the adding part, you're going to look on the black or whatever color you have, black or white foreground, and you're going to decide how to get rid of the rest of the stuff. So if you look over here, you see that there's some of the background here, and so we need to get rid of that to make it look a little bit cleaner of a selection. So what you need to do is use the black brush here. So up at the top left, black brush. We're still only working on this side, so we can zoom in, Command and the plus sign, and we are going to take this selection here off. Okay, so you're going to need a smaller brush to be able to get into that, and so I am going to show you how to do that. So now you have that selection, it's still thinking, and then you can go over here and get a smaller brush, and then come back in here and clean this up. So the good thing about this is that once we move this selection, nobody's going to know what the original image looked like. So if you take out a little bit of her hair, or if you like accidentally move her skin a little bit, as long as you make it look good, you can kind of fake it in the post-production, okay? So there's that. And then there's a little bit more on the other side of her bun. I'm going to go in and clean that right here. And you're going to make sure you take time to go through and select everything. So I know it's going to take some time. I'm going to go ahead and erase this little part here. And then she has this ankle bone, and this is actually what it looked like in the original image, but I'm going to take that down just because it kind of looks a little funky with it. So take your time to get those selections. I'm going to pause and let you guys get caught up for a second. Okay. Once it is to the best of your capabilities, the next step will kind of go in and show you a little bit more. So if you have hair, like say you have a cat, a dog, maybe even like if she had her hair down and it was curly and you needed to go and refine it more from just this original, that is what the gray one does. So if you click the gray one, okay, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in. So again, command and the plus sign if you need to. Mine is running super slow. Okay, it's frozen. Oh my goodness. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go around the edge wherever it needed to be refined, and you can see it'll be like a gray thing. And then it'll go onto the other side and it will clean it up for you. So what the gray does is it's a computer's version of picking what needs to be selected. So sometimes it does good, sometimes it doesn't. You can use it on hair. That's going to help a lot. And anything else it doesn't do the greatest job with. But now you can see we have this selection. So now up here where it says new layer or okay, we're going to make sure that this says new layer mask. So new layer is, it's going to create a layer for itself. And that's what we want. So you're going to click OK. And then you're going to have this selection here. Okay. So now that we have this selection here, we are ready to make the magazine cover. And how we are going to do that once the computer stops spinning is simple. We're going to go up to File. We're going to go to New this time. And then you're going to name, excuse me, that magazine. Make sure it's 1280. Height is 720. And you're going to do a white background. Now, you can look down here and there's a bunch of different things that you could do as well. If you wanted to do an Instagram post or photo, whatever, you can see for a photo, a wallet size, an 8x12. And I'm actually going to kind of show you guys this one as well. So you can do these measurements, but if you want your magazine to go up and down, you can kind of look through and see a 16 by 24 is going to be about what a magazine usually, a 16 by 24 is larger than that. So we'll do 8 by 12, okay? Just to make it easy. We're going to click 8 by 12 and we're going to create. So now we have this blank template of what our magazine is going to look like, and we want to make it look good. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you have all of these different tools. You're going to find the one that looks like the gradient. And there's two different options here. We're going to select Gradient Tool. And then what you're going to do is click this box, okay? So up above it, click this box. It's going to give you all 4 segments. To change the colors, you're just going to click the square and then this right here. And you can choose, so say I want to do a little bit lighter this time or a little bit darker this time. We're going to go darker just for funsies. I'm going to click OK. And then this part, you can make it lighter or darker. We'll just keep it about the same. I'm thinking it will look good there. You can change these. It's just going to be like that background, like where it's a little bit more dark. You can change the top ones. You don't need to. And then we're going to hit OK. Now that we did that, the way that we're going to get it to apply to our image is going to be to click on the bottom part of your image and you're going to drag it up. So if you drag it straight up and down, it's going to do the ombre just like normal. If you drag it from the side, it's going to make the ombre appear from the side. So totally up to you how you want to do it. I actually think I'm just going to do a very basic drag from the top to the bottom. for the sake of this. So now we have the color that we want as far as the background. So we need to go back over to our image, so the tab up on top. We're going to select that, and you're back to here. Now, how you're going to get this image onto the magazine right here is simple. You're going to click this drag tool here and make sure that this transform controls is selected. If not, you're not going to be able to do much. And you are going to click the person or the animal and drag it to that tab. Once it's on that tab, you'll see that it's already here and you can drop it. Now that that's there, you will see these tabs on the outside. To make your image smaller, you need to hold Shift and drag down. Okay, so here we have Miss Kenzie. She's going to be front and center. I think I want her like in the middle-ish area. And when I'm satisfied, I can click this check mark. And then we are going to go over here to the T for text. We're going to select that. And we are going to go up to the top and click. Make sure your text box is not in between the two layers. If it is, it's not going to show up right. So you can do it behind, and then it would just be behind Kenzie. But so text box, you're going to click here, and then you can see what type of text you want. So you can go through and see. I'm going to do like this distance galaxy regular, and then my size, I'm going to make it, that looks about okay. We're going to try it and see. So my color that I'm doing is this one. I'm going to change it to like a blackish gray just because. And then I'm going to type in, ooh, this is too small, and that's okay. So if it's too small or you don't like the font, you're just going to do exactly like you would do in Microsoft Word. Just highlight it, go up here, make it larger, and then I don't like that color. I think that color just doesn't contrast enough. So I'm going to try black. And when you can see the move arrows, you can move it around. And click that off. And I'm still not a huge fan, so I'm going to change this again. We're going to change it to white. And that's going to look pretty decent, I think, when we click it off. Yeah. I want to make this a little bit larger, though, so highlight that, and I'm going to go in here and manually type, I'm going to do 180 and hit enter, and then readjust. Okay. So that is really as simple as we can make this. You can go in and add more stuff as far as text to it. You could do like cover photo and give credit for the cover photo, whatever. The next thing we're going to do though, and then we're going to be done for right now, is the barcode. So you can go ahead and go to, so this barcode is in the Google Classroom under 2B. You're going to go to File. You're going to go to Open this time because it needs to be our image. We're going to find where it says barcode. You can see barcode sample is there. We're going to hit open. I already have it, so I'm not going to do that. And then you will see the barcode here. Okay. Now we need to do the same thing to move it. So we're going to go up to the top left, get our move tool, and we are simply going to click on the image, hold down your mouse, and drag it to where it says magazine. And then that's too big, so I'm going to hold Shift on the corner of the box and place it there. Okay. Now, you can be done with it from here. You could type a date. So I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys really fast. So once we're there, I'm going to do another text box here. I'm going to do the size smaller. So I'm going to do like 125. See how that looks. Hit enter. And then I'm going to do January. Oops. Make sure you're on your text box down here. January 2021. Okay, and I'm going to move that right above this because usually you see that in magazines. And I am going to change this color to black, so just highlight it, go right here, click, and choose a black. And then once you're done with that, if you're satisfied with this, you're going to go to File. And you guys can add more. You can do whatever you want. This is just a basic edit. So go to Export As. We're going to export it as a JPEG. You're going to make sure your quality is at 100 and hit Save. And it's going to save as Magazine 1 because I saved another one earlier. And you are good to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you guys have questions, please send me an email and I will help in any way that I can.